The Caribbean Commission. This is the Honorable Ras J. Baraka Caribbean Commission, which was established to bring information to the Caribbean community. And today on our program, we have Dr. Kelly, Immigration Attorney Winston Tucker, Molly Etwaru, Commissioner Molly Etwaru, and Guyana Consul General to the United States. She's based in New York City. Consul General, I want to ask you, if I'd come to this country and I'd overspend my time and I wanted to get back home now that all these, all the Trump new policies are going to be put in place, how do I handle my situation after overspending my time? What do I do? As a Guyanese who live in Newark and can't get to New York City.
Okay.
I'm scared.
You're scared to come to New York City?
Yes.
Okay, there are a number of persons who are coming to the consulate who do express their concern and the fact that they're scared, but they do come. And if you come to the consulate, for the consulate, it's not whether you are documented or undocumented. For us, it's for you to demonstrate or to identify yourself as a Guyanese, and you will have to be, if your passport has expired, for you to apply for a new passport. If it's lost or damaged, you will have to present certain documents to prove that you are a Guyanese, and then we will issue you with new documents. If you do not want to come into the city, what we are doing, we are trying to reach out to the community. Last year, we tried some outreach programs in Queens, Brooklyn, and New Jersey, and Connecticut. And they worked. People came out to get their documents, whether it was their passports, whether it was their power of attorney done, life certificate, especially for the seniors. So here we want to reach out again to the community. And we have, next Saturday, we're starting with Queens community, and we will be there from about 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, providing consular services for the Guyanese living in the community. And we will schedule one once we can finalize a venue with Newark and New Jersey.
We are ready.
We will definitely be coming to New Jersey and Brooklyn, where there is a large concentration of Guyanese. We will reach out to them so that they can have their services rendered.
Well, I can say that the mayor will be happy to engage the Guyana Consulate to do such an outreach program. All you have to do is just let us know, and we will get your information to the mayor, and we will inform the mayor's office about the Consul General coming to Newark and want to do an outreach program, because Newark have 5 wards, and Guyanese live in all 5 wards. So we will have to do more than one outreach program in the city of Newark. Commissioner Etwaru is from the North Ward, and I think, you know, we can also work with her to make sure that we're engaged in the North Ward, the South Ward, the West Ward, the East Ward, the Central Ward, to make sure that all these wards are engaged with what you're saying. But the question that I had, and I'm still waiting to hear it being answered, how does an individual who has no document, who's been living here, his time has expired, and he's here in the city of Newark, and he wants to get to New York, he wants to get his information, would the consulate come to him, or he's got to come to the consulate because of the way in which his fright, the scare that exists?
Like I said before, we are not at the consulate. If you come into the consulate, nobody would ask you whether you are documented or undocumented.
I'm talking about the travel.
But if you do not have his travel, we have nothing to do with that. So he has to take,
he's got to get to the
person
consulate
has
somehow
to take that risk. However, because we do understand and we do empathize with persons facing certain circumstances, we will reach out to the community, and we will come to provide that service.
Newark is a sanctuary.
Yeah?
Newark is a sanctuary.
We will come, right? Like I said, we're going to Queens on Saturday. Good. Okay. And as soon as we get a venue for Newark, Ms. Etwaru was speaking to me earlier, right? Once we can find a
We
venue,
will get it done.
we
We'll
will
get it
fix
done.
the date,
We'll get it done.
and we will be here, and it's up to you to mobilize the community, to let them be aware, and we will send you, you know, prepare the flyers.
Well, the people,
for
the
you.
Guyanese community can look forward to Consul General coming to the city of Newark. I mean,
Yeah, I'm here. This is not no. I'm here
This is
already.
Newark.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
here already.
What I'm
but
saying is that-
no, we will come with the services definitely.
so you come with the services and you can deliver that services in Newark on that day.
Yes.
Thank you very
They
much.
would not get. They wouldn't get their passport the same day.
But you can do the
We
processing.
will do the processing and send it down, and then we will. They can get it back via. They pay for postage, and we can post it back to them, so they don't have to come for it.
Thank
Just
you
one
very
quick question. Since
Sure.
you said before that you meet as a group, a CARICOM group, that's what you mentioned?
Yes.
Now, is it the same thing that the other consul generals are doing as it relates to documentation of their
The
national-
outreach.
The
We
outreach.
did not discuss modalities, but we have used this modality last year, even before the issue of immigration came up, because we feel strongly that there are a number of Guyanese who are either physically incapable of coming to the consulate down to Manhattan, or for other reasons. So we started going out to the community and reach the Guyanese where they are. It's also an opportunity for us to engage with them. There are a number of persons who come in and they chat with us on the different issues. And so we think it's one way of reaching the Guyanese where they are. And so we think, given the present circumstances, it's important that we continue to reach out to the Guyanese.
Well, you're not aware of any other consulates doing this? Like,
No.
you're not.
I know that we did
Guyanese.
discuss,
Okay.
right, about how we would approach the whole issue in terms of the legality, etc. And we would leave it at that.
I see.
But in terms of the different, what we noticed and we discussed was a number of persons who are now accessing the services at the consulates. And we all recognize that there has been a significant increase in the numbers. And it's pushing the staff, a bit beyond the normal call of duty, but we are there to provide a service. And, I know one consulate, they are increasing their staff to cope with the number of persons who are accessing the consulate.
I have a question. In addition to helping the clients with passport services and fixing legal issues, is there any education being given as far as the rights that they have as just by being here in the United States?
Yes, we have some persons who are sending out the, know your rights, and the issues if someone is arrested, we do, and once we are notified by ICE that they are up for deportation, it's normally handled by Washington, but we contact the family here in New York, and we send them the advisory as to the steps, the legal steps that they need to take. Persons can also access information from our website, which is www.GuyanaConsulateNewYork.org, and the information is there as well.
One of the
Does the,
reasons why I asked, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Does the Guyana Consulate have any literature that we could give out to the Guyanese community at a town hall meeting or something to educate them on their rights?
Prior to your coming.
Yeah, we can share that information with you. I have here, for instance, the one on deportation, right?
Okay.
We can send that to you, and we can send out the documents.
So
that we
the
have.
information that you have on deportation, if we were to post it on our presentation here today, would it be something that's readable on our presentation as part of this development?
It's 4 pages.
4 pages, okay. Well, then what I'm saying is that I was hoping that it would mean something that, you just have to get a number and put that number out there so that you can call the Guyana Consulate for more information.
Correct.
But one of the things that I wanted to
But
ask...
just before you go, I'm also encouraging Guyanese here in Newark, if they have family or friends in Queens, they can also notify them about the outreach program to be held on Saturday the 11th.
You're not thinking of putting a consulate in Newark?
Not as yet.
But from a legal standpoint, however, it's important that those who are watching this program say Caribbean nationals or nationals around the world, that it is important that they contact their consulate whenever they have a legal problem inside the United States, because they are in fact their representative, their nationals. Their consulate is the representative of the different nationals. And in fact, if the United States get to the point where they have to remove you from the United States, they have to go through the consulate and get acknowledgement that you're one of their citizens, so they don't end up sending you to a country that you have no contact to. And that has happened in the past. And I must commend the consulates in and around the Caribbean, because they have stepped up to the plate, and despite some of the times they may be pressured by Custom and Border Protection or by ICE to deliver the travel document prematurely, they have done their due diligence to make sure that these people are being removed to their different countries. Indeed, is their national, and one important point, that they have in fact exhausted all their legal rights before they issue those letters.
And I fully agree with you. One of the things, that's one of the reasons why the consulate is there, to represent the nationals that are, here in the United States. And we do encourage persons to make contact with the consulate. We do get documents when they are up for deportation, and we give them the relevant guidance in that area with regards to the particular situation. And we will also especially in this situation, the current situation, we will give them a list of immigration legal attorneys for them to contact. We feel that now is not just any lawyer that they should contact, but make sure that it's an immigration lawyer to help them with their situation.
That makes a difference. It does help, because statistics show that the probability of you being removed from the United States increase with you not having an immigration attorney.
Right. With that said, let me ask Commissioner Etwaru, in your community where you live, is there anyone who is afraid or has gone to any sanctuary trying to seek cover in terms of immigration? I'm saying if everybody's scared now, so
correct.
Everybody is drawn in. Everybody's taking, how is your community?
I know there are gossips in the community. People are talking, how scared some people are, and I know there are some workshops that were being done in the community on the recent immigration ban, but no one has really approached me directly to say that they're scared or what's going on.
Okay. Well, with that said, let me get to Dr. Kelly now. Dr. Kelly, being a doctor, osteopathic medicine, living in Newark, have a practice in Newark and deal with all the folks in Newark. Health and wellness is something that at some point in time, people get sick. How does the laws impact the community in terms of health and wellness? I'm talking about people scared to get treated.
The impact has been tremendous. We're at the beginning of this process, and we're already experiencing decline in our emergency rooms. We're experiencing decline in doctor's appointments, a lot of cancellations. We're experiencing decline in the number of our students that are going to schools. Parents are not sending our children to school because they're afraid. I personally had an experience where I had a patient that went to 3 different hospitals and was afraid to wait for the results because the results there's a process. It takes some period of time before we could copulate everything and make a general conclusion. So in this patient's mind, they were afraid to wait. So he ended up leaving 3 different hospitals, afraid, went to a 4th hospital, which I was working in the emergency room that day. And the patient, after the CT scan results, and after I explained to him in Spanish what was going on and why he had to wait, he had a ruptured bowel. So it was imperative for this person to receive emergency care. And this is actually covered under the 14th Amendment. Patients should not be afraid. Any person that is illegal, undocumented, they have the right to emergency treatment, and they have the right to treatment of chronic conditions. Their children have the rights to go to school without being afraid. So that's why it's so important for me, the point of education. People have to be educated as far as what their rights are. Not only undocumented immigrants, all of us need to be educated regarding what our rights are, especially as minorities. So let the education begin.
But the thing about it is that you're an educator. I know you were a teacher at one time, and a doctor, community.
I am, because it's very difficult to explain and to teach people the importance of taking care of their bodies if you don't know how to explain that to someone. So part of treating a patient is to educate the patient. Part of talking to anyone in general, you have to understand how they will best receive that information. And if it's through a different language, which is unfortunate to speak, or if it is through just the use of different modules to get the information across, then that's what must be done. As a community, we do have to work on getting that education piece across. In order to get anything done, education has to be the basis.
Attorney Winston Tucker, immigration is one of our crises at the moment. Now it's not about eating, it's about thinking of what's next going to happen. Can you elaborate on an individual who have a green card, because we've been hearing, quote unquote, all these different things happening to folks who's got a green card and has committed an offense, simple larceny? What is his status? What happens to him? They said, according to the laws, and they said they had to transfer. They had to they had to revisit it, and they said it's too broad. Can you elaborate what will happen to a citizen, an ordinary resident, a resident who's living here, who has committed an offense, a simple larceny offense, and has done his time or community service, has pays dues to society? What happens to him?
Well, let me start with the person who is unlawfully present.
Okay.
Let me start with them and make them understand that some of the times when you operate with fear, then you end up getting nothing done. Like the doctor said, it is imperative at some point that you stand up, not be fearful, and protect yourself. And someone here unlawfully present in the United States, say you get picked up by Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE. They will detain you, and there's a policy that they have as to who they will detain and who they'll grant bond and who they won't grant bond to. So yes, you'll go through these processes. If you're unlawfully present, then it's important that you at least go to community forums if there are community forums in your area. Usually churches are good places to have community forums. So if your church don't have one, then you encourage your church to get one going. And you can encourage them to even operate as clusters, not by themselves like the Consular Corps operate, in groups, because you become stronger. And if you're operating through churches as clusters, then you might have a forum this month, another church might have it the other month, but you get to hear the information more than once. And once you start to educate yourself, then the fear, you will find, start to dissipate. And once the fear starts to dissipate, then you will be in a position to defend yourself better. Now, say you're picked up. it just don't end there that you're picked up and put on a plane and shipped out. You have a right to see an immigration judge, and when you get before the judge, then the government lawyer, your representative, and so in some places they have free attorneys, and the judge will make determination based on the immigration law, the INA, as to what is available for you, what you can in essence use to end up staying in the United States. And I venture to say the most the group that should be most concerned is the group that is unlawfully present, that is a danger to the community, meaning that you have committed crimes in the United States, got convicted, and especially a serious crime. So that's the first group that they go after. Now, if you are indeed part of that group, then you're going to manage yourself carefully. You're going to educate yourself and move in such a way that you're going to start to protect your family. Now, moving forward, if you're not part of that unlawful present group, if you're not part of the unlawful present group, then you might be a legal permanent resident, and you fall under that same umbrella if you are a menace to the community. If you are a danger to the community, it means then that your priority as it relates to them coming after you and wanting to get rid of you. Now, we might be running out of time here, so we might not be able to go into too much details as to what we should expect. And it might be best that we probably save some of this for the next time, the next segment.
I do have something to say. I did work as medical director for Bergen County Jail. Bergen County Jail, they also work with, ICE is also part of what Bergen County Jail deals with. Once a person is picked up, the process, and let me just mention that there is a lot of economics behind prison, I would say prison business. So they have very strong incentives for picking people up. They get money from the federal government, and they get a big chunk of that is from the federal, and they also get monies through private and through city funding. Correctional system is a business, and there is an incentive. And I would like to emphasize the importance of knowing your rights. From the time you're picked up, you may go through a sequence of events for which you have rights to decide whether to say yes or no. So again, education is very important.
And just to elaborate on what the doctor said, yes, the processes are so many that the point I want to get around before we wrap up today is that if you know your rights, and if you're confident in your rights, if you have educated yourself, then you're going to be a better person, a better person in removal proceedings, meaning that your attorney is going to be able to work better with you and your family. One of the things that you should possibly do is, like the Consul General suggested before, be proactive. Don't wait until in the Caribbean, and this is probably common throughout the Caribbean, there's a term, the boogeyman. You don't wait until the boogeyman come knocking at your door. You be proactive and put things in place to protect you and your family.
For the Guyana Consulate number, that number is 212-947-5110. 212-947-5110. In closing, this topic of immigration and its impact on the city and the immigrants living in the city of Newark, I would like to thank my guests here this afternoon, Dr. Kelly.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you. I would like to add that I'm Dr. Hortensia Kelly. I work at St. Michael's Hospital. which is located at 111 Central Avenue. My office number is 973-877-5222. And documented, undocumented, I don't care. Please come and receive medical care and get educated and know your rights.
Attorney Winston Tucker.
Thank you. And I want to say to those listening and watching that they ought to take comfort in the fact that there won't be and there cannot be any mass deportation or mass removal because it costs money. The statistic is that you have 11 to 12, up to say 15 million unlawful present population, and at the height of any removal year, it only got up to 400,000. And then you have another 300, 400 coming in to fill that gap. So unless we get immigration reform, then this cycle is going to just keep continuing. And at some point, you're going to realize that the fear that you feel is not necessary.
Commissioner Molly at Waru, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Bernard Rollins. Thanks for having me on the show today. I'll be reaching out to the Guyana Consulate very soon to schedule a date so we could have a community forum. And the Guyana Consulate will bring out information on Know Your Rights and other documents that illegal immigrants will need. Thanks.
And Consul General Barbara Atlee, thank you for coming, traveling all the way from New York.
Thank you very much. It has indeed been a pleasure being here, and I'm happy to reach out to the Guyanese here in Newark. And I would like to leave with them, please try to avoid listening to the rumors and educate yourself so you have the facts and you know your rights. Secondly, be prepared. Be proactive and to think about your family and your long-term situation. And thirdly, feel free to contact the consulate. Our number is 212-947-5110, or you can go on our website, www.GuyanaConsulateNewYork.org. And be assured that we will be back in Newark with outreach programs as well as a forum. Thank you very much.
Well, in closing, we want to thank the City of Newark, the Honorable Mayor Ras J. Baraka, for this ongoing immigration exercise to inform our citizens and our residents here in the City of Newark. And for more information, everyone who is listening to the show can go to the city website and or you can call 973-733-6400, 973-733-6400, and ask for information, or go to the website, the City of Newark website, for more information on what the mayor is doing in terms of immigration. Thank you very much.